DadDash here with a video, and I just wanted to talk with you here because I feel like one of the most important things to your success, my success, and anybody that's a gig business operator is technology. And I wanted to give you to go over a little discovery I have made. As you know, I did a series on the iPhone SE a while back, and I still am going. I'm doing an extensive use case with that as well, and I'm going to be publishing a video, kind of to go over my reflections on that device. But I wanted to jump in here quick because for about the last 2 weeks, I've been using this device right here, and some of you may recognize it, some of you may not, but it is the Samsung S22, not the Ultra, not the Plus, just the regular old Samsung S22. Now, as you know, as I've been very vocal about, I have been an advocate to say that iPhones are the best devices that you can rely on when it comes to gig work, in my opinion, based on the relationships that the apps have with the operating system, stability-wise, bugginess. You know, that you need something when you're out here that you can count on, that it's not adding minutes to an order. As you know, I have an order value based strategy. I'm trying to maximize the value of every order that I'm involved with. And in order to do that, in order to make that happen, you have to be out here making sure that your technology supports that mission. So it's mission critical, in my opinion, to have the best tech, to have the technology. And by best tech, I don't mean the most expensive tech, but I mean technology you can count on. So I have been struggling with a couple things when it's come to phone network in different areas of my markets with AT&T. There's some dead spots. And T-Mobile, I thought, well, maybe T-Mobile, who I use personally, and it's just an absolute terrible experience, I don't feel they can fill the gap. So I wanted to go after Verizon. Well, I got a flyer in the mail that said, hey, you can get $50 off your home internet. I'm with Xfinity. If you sign up for a line of service with Xfinity Mobile, which runs off Verizon. So I thought, score, let's do this. So I contacted them, set it up, and basically for pretty much, I guess it was about $71 a month, so I'm paying about $21 a month once all the credits even out. I got a Samsung S22 hooked up to Xfinity Mobile. So anyways, I settled on the Samsung S22, and I was excited about it. It came, and then I got into using it, and I'm going to tell you right now, first of all, it is an excellent phone. It is by far, in my opinion, the best, and I enjoy it more than the Z Fold, because the Z Fold is more gimmicky than anything, in my opinion. I think it's a cool device, but it's not the best phone device. It's and it owns a weird piece of the market. But as a phone, this is the highest end phone, and I don't consider that a phone, so I'm going to say phone, Android phone that I've ever owned. And it is actually a very, very, very solid piece of technology. As far as the issues that have plagued me with Android, how were they on this phone? I'm happy to report that although there's still been some issues, and in fact, it wasn't until yesterday evening when I was out and I was pushing this thing to the absolute max. It was heated up, it was hot. And one of the things a lot of people have said about this particular phone is that Android, or that Samsung's done a great job keeping the heat down. I was pushing this thing to the absolute max. I had 4 apps going at one time. I had Instacart, Grubhub, Uber, and DoorDash all going at the same time. I had DoorDash and Grubhub right there. I had the Uber opened up as an overlay, so I could just pop the button and then it would pop down. I had Instacart pinned, and I had my Sheets app pinned that I use for Google Sheets, and my calculator app pinned, okay, and my image gallery pinned, so I could open my image gallery as I was taking my screenshots to go back and review them. And I'm doing all this, and I'm pushing this thing to the absolute max. And I did it on purpose. I took this as my only device out. I didn't use it as 3 different phones like I like to do, which is my ideal setup and what I call my relaxed setup, where it's really a lot easier to manage everything when you have 3 screens in front of you. And that's not for everybody. Not everyone's going to be able to afford it, but that's what I've managed to set up for myself. But anyways, I wasn't using it in that array. I was using this as, it's my only device, and I'm pushing this thing to the absolute max. And yes, it cracked. At one of my final deliveries, after using it all night long and pushing it just to the absolute maximum, the phone froze, it errored out, and it just basically froze up. I had to go to my personal device, which is the only device I had with me. I didn't have any of my other gig devices with me. Log into the DoorDash app and close out the order on this device. And eventually, as we drove away, over time, it started giving me error messages and giving me the option, you know, close out, do this, do this. I eventually just had to restart the phone and totally restart everything. And, you know, I pushed it. But what I will say is, what this phone was doing and what I was accomplishing with this phone, I forgive it for giving out. I was pushing it. So what I would say to you is this. This device, absolutely 110%, is a capable device. My recommendation would be that every single gig business operator considers, and you can get great deals through carriers on these phones, making the S22 a device that's in your array of phones, if you can do it and if you can afford it. Now, I have not dove too deep below this. I know there's other phone levels below it. There's the FE, there's the A53, and I haven't got into all this, and I haven't gone above it to the Plus or to the Ultra. And I would imagine the Plus the Plus and the Ultra might be able to handle the entire workload I was throwing at this thing. The only question I would have with that is how well it fits in my hand. And maybe I'll be inspired to test that out. I'm not sure. But I am keeping this phone. But I think this is, in my opinion, the perfect size phone in your hand. And I have this nice case here that folds back and lets me take my pictures, and then it protects the front of the device. And it really is just really super nice. But what I was going to say is that where I see this fitting, I could see this being the centerpiece of the operation. In other words, this is the device that allows you to run everything. So you could very, very easily this device and say an iPhone SE. So you have something in Apple, or maybe you buy an iPhone 13, right? Which is almost the same size as this. I could see you running an entire gig business operation right off that. And what you would be able to do is very comfortably run dual screens on this, okay? Dual screens on this. And you could run your Google Sheets spreadsheet right on it. And that's going to very comfortably handle all that activity. I don't think you miss a beat. Besides, there is one issue. What I would recommend you would do, if I was to say this, is this. DoorDash app continues to have problems with Android. And it does get worse when you're in weaker cell service areas. But in my opinion, the DoorDash app does not work very well with Android, because even on here, it's not as bad, but even on here, after an order, it'll continue to pop up the final payout screen if I use any of the features, or if I split screen it or something like that. So what I have to do every time I do a DoorDash order, I have to close out of the app. So I'll go in, I'll swipe it up, and then I'll reopen it, and then that takes care of the problem. But you got to do that every time. It's an extra step. It's one that with the benefits of this phone, I'm willing to do that, to have it in my array. It's very frustrating. So what I would recommend, if I was going to set up an ideal setup, I was looking to do 2 phones. And again, I think the setup for somebody who's trying to be budget friendly would be to, regardless of what your personal stuff is, keep this completely separate from your personal. To me, the best business setup is get an S22, and if you go to AT&T right now, you can get a great deal on these, especially if you have something to trade. If you have an old phone to trade or something like that, or you can go directly to Samsung and get even better value. And get either an iPhone SE or an iPhone 13 okay? And make those two your devices. And if you can get a great carrier deal on the purchase of those phones, you're scoring and you're winning, okay? But the overall takeaway I want to say is I wanted to take this time to say, Samsung, hats off to you. You have created a beast here, a great phone that I think is a very, very good option for gig business operators everywhere. And you know, that's my opinion. And you know, like I said, I'm very happy to be using this. All right, guys, I'll be talking to you soon.